all these sequels, these legacy sequels are crazy. So the song we introed with was used prominently in the new Beetlejuice movie.
Beetlejuice. Oh, that's
the new Roger R. Beetlejuice movie.
You know what? I'm really looking forward to seeing my favorite actor, Jeffrey Jones, in Beetlejuice 2. It's going to be. I mean, I haven't checked in on him in a while, but we used to share files and trade.
Oh God. Oh dear God. Oh dear God.
Trade emails, and then the cops came and took my computer one day.
Oh, shocker. Shocker. You don't say.
So we recently had a resurgence in the popularity of one of our YouTube videos. That's right, I'm looking at you. That's now, Alan, that's where you make this jump cut. Alan and I have been talking about jump cuts for YouTube.
Have we?
Yeah, he's gonna make the whole show jump cuts.
I like it.
So basically, Jeffrey Jones. What do you know about Jeffrey Jones?
I know that he's not been in anything for a number of years because he did, whether it was files on his computer or he got in hot water for something. I do recall.
He asked a 14-year-old boy to take pictures of himself. I think he solicited him for nudity and something else,
and then failed to register as a sex offender.
Oh yeah, that
was
his
other charge.
Yeah, and is he still alive? He's still around.
He's still around, yeah. He's been kicked off of a production or two once people find out.
Oh, yeah, I read that too.
That's happened. But yeah, so he's notably not in this new Beetlejuice movie, but the character is in it.
Correct. Have you guys seen it?
I have seen it.
Did you see it, John?
No, but I've read the synopsis.
I saw it, yeah.
I thought it was
What'd you
creative. Think? But I feel like if you're killing off a character who was a problem, the actor was a problem, write them out of it and be done with it.
Right.
But they kind of gave the character a lot of screen time. They kind of played up the character as being a really nice guy.
Right.
We're really going to miss him. The character was into birds. He loved birds.
That's right.
The littler the bird, the better. He loved getting pictures of 14-year-old birds.
That's right.
14-year-old birds. Okay, so what did you think of the Beetlejuice?
This is my PSA for the evening.
Without spoilers.
Do not waste your time or money to go see Beetlejuice in theaters. It was awful.
Oh, shit.
The writing was just, to me, so corny and so hokey, and I understand that it was meant to be somewhat. I get that. But good God, I mean, for me, and for you too, John, I mean, this is a film that's like in our wheelhouse of our youth.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just garbage. It was just garbage. I did appreciate you do get to hear MacArthur Park in its full, entire 7.5 minutes of glory.
I didn't realize they did the whole song.
Yeah. Yeah. So that might be worth your $15. But outside of that, no, I did not. I couldn't. My wife and I looked at each other when it was over, and people were clapping. At the end of the movie, and I was like, "Are they clapping because it's over? Is that what's going on?"
Well, I think they just like seeing a happy ending.
Oh my God! So
but yeah, I did find it funny that there were people in the showing that I was in who did some clapping as well.
Now, in my defense, I was shrooming when I went to go see this film, so I wasn't even sure if the clapping was actually happening or if it was just purely a hallucination. People were actually clapping, and it was, oh my God. Oh, dear God.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't entirely hate it, but it felt kind of like when the follow-up to 2001: A Space Odyssey was 2010, and it was a very, very, very different type of movie.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's a sequel, and it answers questions and kind of expands on some things, but it was just too different, like you said. It was kind of like...
The tone.
I enjoyed a lot of it. I give a lot of movies leeway because, I just like the experience of being in a nice movie.
Nice.
When the budget's nice, the sets were cool, the lighting was awesome.
Yeah.
The costumes were pretty sick.
Yeah.
And it's, I didn't think it was all that terrible, but there was definitely...
the writing could have been better.
There was a lot happening.
Was it as bad as Dumb and Dumber 2?
Oh, that's a tough question. Sequel.
where you're not sure if it's dementia or just them being silly.
And they all looked so old that it like makes you sad instead of nostalgic.
Yeah.
I always talk about
Trying to be boyish.
Exactly. There's this area, the sweet spot for nostalgia, if you will, of 20 years. Because 10 years, you're like, 10 years, who gives a fuck about that? But another 10 years, boom, you're like, damn, that was already 20 years ago. And you can't believe it was 20 years. And then you start looking, and most of the time, the people still kind of look the same.
Sure.
Kind of look the same. But you hit that 30 years and that 40 years, it starts to get a little bit different.
And this is, what, 36 years removed from the original?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking... So, remember when... Because you're a little bit younger than me. And when we were growing up, you thought... So, now that would be like, what was the original Beetlejuice was 89? So 36 years, or would you guys say 30?
36. I think it was 88.
Yeah, 88. So that would have been like when we were, in the 90s, we were like in our teens. People would have said 36 years ago, and you would be like, holy, that was so long ago, dude. That was like, that's antiquity.
I want to watch a movie from 1953.
I got Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, because nowadays this is Hollywood, man. I mean, it's about how it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business, and they saw that it was a formula that worked the first go round, and Beetlejuice won the box office on its opening weekend. It was the highest grossing film domestically, and I'm sure probably globally too. People loved the movie. They loved the characters. People were dressing up. I can't even count the number of people who showed up in full freaking costume to the movie.
There's a different
the theater I was at said no face paint, no costumes.
Oh, okay.
Very boring place.
Well, that's probably because of theater shootings too.
There's that.
I wouldn't think people were going to be shot by Beetlejuice, but
well, it's kind of, it's good that we've forgotten that some crazy dude went into a theater and massacred like people a couple of times. It's happened, right?
Yeah.
It happened more than once?
I mean, even recently it was at the theater that I went to. There was some shooting, not all that long
Why
ago.
were you shooting? Was Alec Baldwin there?
Oh, God.
That guy. He'll just get off because he's got the lawyers. It's so funny that, well, it's interesting, I should say, that he got off because he had these high-powered lawyers, and the prop lady did not get off because she probably didn't have the same lawyers. You know, is basically what it came down to.
Yeah.
Although, Alan, aren't the prop people ultimately finally responsible for that, even though the actor bears about 20% culpability?
The armorer person, they handled the ammunition.
Yeah, and they should not let...
They should know the difference.
That's a pretty good point.
But, so do you think Jeffrey Jones felt bad once he found out that there was going to be a big budget sequel to Bittman and that he wasn't going to be in it, and now that he finds out how successful the opening weekend was and that his head was...
the guy's like 80. Does he really fucking have...
I saw a recent picture of him. Oh, man, he's looking a bit like a penguin.
Is he?
He's looking a little penguin-like. It's weird. He's got like a beak.
Dude, once your testosterone goes down to -20...
He's got that extra low T.
You're gonna round out, bro. You could train all you want. You could try and run or walk, and that T plays a big role, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's several other Jeffrey Joneses here.
Okay. So there,
you don't say.
Just search Jeffrey Jones pictures.
That's what I've been doing. Jeffrey Jones 2024.
Oh, you just scrolled by James Earl Jones. Oh God.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, oh God.
I know.
God rest his soul. And that brings me to another person that I'm surprised no one's talking about because this was my first crush. They did not appear in Beetlejuice, and I was a little bit upset that we're not going to see him. Now, I understand there's a valid reason why we probably won't see him. But if you could...
All right, you told me fuck you by ending and starting it back, okay.
If you could look up Otho.
Oh, man!
From Beetlejuice.
I forgot about Otho.
No, I guess they couldn't really do a whole lot because it might be disrespectful. But he did die of, was it a heart attack or a stroke or diabetes or something?
Aww.
But he was my he
Oh,
was
so-
one of my favorite characters, especially where Beetlejuice puts him in all white.
Yes.
And he's like, ah! Dude, that's one of my favorite scenes. He was amazing,
Yeah.
and he ended up dying of health problems. But it was a bummer not to see him be a part of this, even though he's dead.
I mean, Beetlejuice technically is dead, and Beetlejuice was a part of it. Why couldn't they dig up Otho? I'm just saying.
Is the small head guy in that?
Oh, yeah. Small head guy is
more
there
than him.
in perpetuity. Yes, yes.
That was one of my problems, is that they took one little thing as the small head guy at the end of the first one and then just multiplied him.
Yeah.
That sounds like a bad character in a movie, or maybe like the worst porn star ever. Small head guy. Just this guy with this massive shaft and this little tiny head. Horrible.